Hi, it's Mike Delsignore. I'm outside the Haverhill District Court, and I want to talk about what happens if you're charged with an OUI offense out of this court. Well, your first court date is going to be arraignment. You're going to enter a not guilty plea. They'll set it down for another date. It's not your trial. So on that arraignment date, we'll get a copy of the report. We'll see what the officer claims happened. And in that report, we'll get a general idea of how the officer would testify if the case went to trial. Trials are a live event. Police officers don't get to read the report. So often how they're going to testify and what the evidence would be in court, whether it's in front of a judge or jury, is going to be different from a strict reading of the police report. Officers, when they write these reports, don't put everything you did correctly in the report. So I'll go over that and I'll say, geez, based on my reading of the report, the officer is going to acknowledge you did A, B, C, D things right. Usually that is, you gave your license without any difficulty. You got out of the car without using it for balance. You maintain balance in the instruction stance on the 9-step walk and turn. All little things that I know from doing hundreds of these cases, through knowing their training, having their training manual, that they'll have to acknowledge are signs that you weren't under the influence of alcohol. So while the report's going to list everything you did wrong, I'm going to create a separate list, which essentially is my cross-examination of the officer to show everything you did right. And I'll show basically, based on everything you did right, based on the officer's training, it's inconsistent with the opinion you were impaired. When you call me too, I'll go over the license consequences. How can you get back on the road? Well, if you refused a breath test, it's a 6-month suspension. It's a first offense. It's a second offense. It'd be 3 years. Third offense, if you have 2 prior convictions, you're looking at a 5-year suspension. So you might want to appeal that suspension to the Registry of Motor Vehicles. You have 15 days to do it. If you took a breath test that was over .08, get your license back in 30 days. We'll go over how I routinely get breathalyzer evidence knocked out of court all the time. So just because you took a breath test doesn't mean it's going to come into evidence. So make sure you're informed. Make sure you speak to a lawyer. That this is pretty much all I do is OUI cases. I've written books. I speak on these to other lawyers. This has been my life for the last 15 years. Passionate about it. Love helping people charged with OUI and explaining the science and why it can be inaccurate in terms of breath and blood testing. My number is 781-686-5924. Feel free to call anytime. Call, text, it's never too late. Weekends calls are welcomed as well. I'm here to help you.